everybody. We're going to be working with Adobe Premiere for this session. What we're going to be doing is kind of the same things that we did with our first two class objectives, learning how to export and learning how to do some text. But I'm also going to show you, give you the lay of the land with Adobe. So some of the things that are different, well, before in Final Cut Pro, it was harder to kind of sort where your files go. Here it's easier, but you may have there's a lot of more the way your program looks has some flexibility to it, and some of you may find that a little difficulty or difficult or stressing. But anyway, we'll get through it. So click on the PR for Adobe Premiere Pro, and it'll normally it'll bounce up a few times before it pops up. Since I already opened my program before, that's why it just instantly popped up. Okay, so next we need to just name your name your stuff, name your files. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to New Project. Okay, so click on New Project. Everybody see it to the upper left? Okay. So when you do that, you're probably familiar with something like this. I say for the project, put your name in it. You could just say, I don't know, Bob, Adobe Lesson 1 or something. So, but make sure you have, and kind of like with, first name, last initial, or last name, first name. Anyway, you guys get it. So, but make sure it can be specifically identified to you. If you don't want to say Adobe Lesson 1 or whatever, that's fine. Just most importantly that it can be, for you. So I'm gonna say Tramiel Adobe 1 for mine. That's what I'm gonna call it. And under you want to click on Browse. And this is more similar to like typical Windows-based, deciding where your files go. So you click Browse, and where we're going to send it to our computer editing folder that's already on the desktop. So click on Desktop, and once you see Desktop, you should see a folder that says Computer Editing Fall 2021. Are you guys with me on that? Okay. So, and we're going to click Choose. So we're just choosing where your stuff is going to go. And since you're already kind of familiar with that folder, it'll be a little bit easier for you. I say normally I probably save my stuff to a portable hard drive or to the movies folder on here, but because of the class and just, if I need to find your stuff for some reason, it's a lot easier for me to just click on the folder on the desktop. So that's why I mess with that. The rest of the stuff, you can just go ahead and click OK. And you should have a pretty blank gray screen, okay? So everyone should have something that looks like this. Does everybody have that? Okay. Now, there's a couple of different setups. Oh, and well, before we get into that, I'm gonna show you how, if you wanted to go back, and you don't have to follow me along on this, but I'm gonna X out, or maybe I can do it with just by saying open. Let me see if it pops up the screen. Nope, it doesn't. So for next time when you come back and you need to get into Adobe, man, I kind of don't want to do this because I know how long it's going to take to open the program back up. But you click on it, maybe it'll go faster since it's already been opened in like the past few minutes. But when you want to go back to your project, it's going to be pretty easy. Once it actually opens, yeah, this is why I didn't want to do that, because I know. Come on, I don't have any clips in my project. So yeah, I wish I could pass this part. Come on. But you are going to need to know this in case when you're not going to just do every project in just one day and it just be done. Sometimes you have to come back to stuff, which is why it's important to know how to open up your stuff. So when right under where we had clicked that new project thing, right underneath that, that's going to be one that says open project. So you click on, here it is, click on open project, and you basically just route it to where you had saved your stuff. So let's just pretend that it was on, I don't know, downloads, okay? That's not where I saved my stuff. So I got to go to desktop, I got to go to computer editing, and something that's nice is that, you see this? I got my little Adobe Premiere icon, and it's got my name, Adobe, Tramiel Adobe 1, which is what I named my project. I click on that, go and, select open, and it opens my project. Yay! Makes sense.
So, when you made a new project, you put the location under the 2021 fall.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. So now that we're back to our screen, let me give you the lay of the land, or how there's different ways that you can configure your workspace. Like, I like to customize mine because I consider myself old school. So for me, my clip bin and my effects are usually here. Usually my preview and my program window are somewhere over here. My timeline is down here. Maybe I've got some audio stuff over here. That's kind of like how I like to arrange it. But they've got a lot of different things, presets. And you can just click on, to the upper center part. They've got one for, I guess, if you're trying to learn, if you're assemble editing. I say editing is probably the closest to like what I usually use. Color, but I make mine custom anyway. Effects, whatever you prefer. Now, I know this probably doesn't really mean much to you right now because you're like, okay, all I'm seeing is dark gray boxes just shifting around, okay? So I'm gonna go with the editing one since that's, I don't know, that's the one I kind of like more, even though I still gotta tweak it around. So I'm gonna adjust mine to how I like it, and you can adjust it to how you prefer it. And I'm gonna talk you through it, and but there will be some windows that I think you absolutely have to have. So like you gotta have a window for your timeline. I mean, how are you gonna edit if you don't have a timeline? Also, you gotta have a window for your clip bin. Also, let's see what else. Effects. So effects is down here currently. Effect controls. So you got to be able to manipulate your effect. This is kind of like the equivalent of your inspector window. And your source, which is basically your preview window. So it's kind of cut off right here, but for mine, this is for source. So let me, I'd say to make things make a little bit more sense, I'm gonna go ahead and import some video just so you can have something to look at. And the command in Adobe is the same as the command in Final Cut. You can just press Command and then I, and for import. And I'm just gonna click something from the sample. Oh crap! What did I just press? What did I just press? No. Oh, sorry. A project, import media. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna press Command I. And computer editing. So I think I may have pressed the whole folder. So anyway, I'm just gonna. I'll get 3 clips. I don't even know what all of them are, but I'm gonna go with these. I'm gonna click import. So now I got something to look at. Okay, so now you know. Okay, this is the clip bin. All right, all right. So and something else I'm going to do to make my timeline, it's actually called timeline. It's over here in this section. So I don't have to make file new time. I mean, I could if I want to make an additional timeline, but it comes with one and it's called timeline. And what I can do is I can just say drag. I'm going to take this clip. Oh, that's 55 seconds. I'll go with something shorter. I'm going to take this clip and I'm just going to click, hold, and I'm just going to drag it over here and it's going to make a timeline for me. So usually what it does is Oh, how many clips did I put? I think I may have selected more than one clip, but yeah, I think I selected almost everything. Sorry about that. I made a mistake. So let me delete that. Okay. So now you can at least see something. Something's starting to shape up here. So I got my clip bin over here. I got my timeline right here. And let's say I want to look at this clip, okay? I just double click on it and bam, oh, it shows up in my source. So this is kind of like my preview window, okay? And stuff that's in my timeline shows up over here. So you got, remember when I, what was it? I forgot one of the lectures where I showed like a typical Final Cut editing screen. This kind of resembles that, all right? But I'm gonna tweak it even more because, yeah, I just want it closer to what I like. So all of these little clip things right here, you don't need, okay? And let me tell you something. If you make a mistake, if you accidentally like close a window, let's say, I don't know, this timeline, which my timeline name changed to, whatever the clip thing was. But let's say I accidentally delete this, close panel, all right? My timeline's gone. All I gotta do, actually I still got a timeline window. Let me mess it up even more. All right, now I don't know what this is, okay? So if I mess something up like that, all I gotta do is go to Window, Workspace, and then go to Reset, Reset to Saved Layout, okay? So that was editing, that's kind of like a default one, so I'll press that, and things pretty much go back to normal. Let me double click. This right here is a sequence icon. It has like these little staggered rectangular things that represent like clips. So I'm gonna double click on that, and my timeline pops back up. So yeah, so don't worry if you just go to Window and Reset, save Workspace, whichever one it is, and if you have a custom one, save it. So yeah, and there's a lot more stuff I like to do. Let's see, but I'm not gonna get too deep into this. But let's see, going my bin over here. So I put my clip bin over to the side because that's where I like my clip bin. So all I did was I just clicked the tab and moved it all the way over, and it created it in that spot. So you don't have to do all this, but I'm going to take you through just stuff that I like, and if you want to do it, great. I'm not going to penalize you or anything if you don't have it set up the same way. And a lot of these things, like I'm closing media browser, libraries, info, don't really need that. I do need effects. So I'm going to take that tab and I'm going to slide it over here. I don't need markers, and me personally, I'm not gonna use history. So anyway, so now I've got one thing for my clips, one thing for my effects. I got my preview window right here, my effect controls right there, which is where I like that. I don't really need this, but I'm not going to bother deleting it. And I definitely want my program window. So the way I set it up, I like it something similar to this. Okay. So if you don't want it that way, that's fine. It's just whatever works, whatever you prefer. Okay. Oh, I don't even like. Yeah, let me get that. All right. So let's just say this is how you got your thing set up relatively how you like it or how you can understand what's going on. Next up, yeah, if you don't know where your stuff is, you can't really edit if you don't know where your tools are, and if you can't find your clips and all that other stuff. So yeah, I did the arranging to my preferred arrangement. Okay, so yeah, we got our timeline over here. I got my my clip bin over here. I know it's sorry, my window's kind of cut off on this TV screen, but yeah, I got my clips. Got my effects, which is right next to my clips. Now, if you don't have it right next to it, that's fine. Just make sure that somewhere on this screen you got something that says effects, because you are definitely going to need that. Effect controls. I usually like to keep that over my preview window. That's just because when I first learned Adobe and other programs, it was like that. Plus, while you're actually editing a clip, you can, you're not gonna really need that window, but you can also still see it in the timeline. And your source or your preview window, I should put that, yeah, just so my clips here, I can look at them before I decide if I want to, drag them down to my timeline. So, all right, now, Windows tab at top, and if you wanted to save this, let's see, I'll make sure. I forgot how to say the word window, workspace, and then it's probably, yeah, I could either have it as edit workspace or save as new workspace, and I'm just going to call this one Adobe 1. You don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you in case you wanted to know. So we went over fixing a messed up workspace, saving personalized workspace, did that. Importing footage, we did that. Oh, we did a lot. All right, timeline buttons. All right, so your timeline here. Let's go over some stuff. So you see these little lock thingies? When I press them, that means I can't edit that whole track of video. So like right now, I highlighted and I press delete, and it deletes. I'm gonna Command Z to get that back. If I had the lock on it, I may be able to delete the audio. I see it still highlighted, but I won't be able to delete the video. I can't even click on it. All right. So that's what the locks does. What else do I know? The visibility. This is supposed to be like a little eyeball. So when I disable it, you see there's like a little scratch out over the eyeball. Now I can't see that video in my timeline. So, and this little mute thing, it basically does that for audio, except it mutes your audio, okay? This right here is if you want to record voiceover into your project, you can do it that way. I know that it wasn't on there. All right, the insert overwrite, what this does is basically there's a feature where you can instantly put clips down where you want them to go, and you can either scoot clips aside or you can just delete over clips. You have to have this active in order to do that. Oh, this right here, I don't know the technical name for it, whatever it's called. But sometimes, say you want to make an edit, but you don't have to go and find your razor blade tool, you can just press Command K to make cuts. And most of the times, I do it that way. So if I want to use that command, I have to have this enabled. So I'll demonstrate that in just a moment. Or, yes. Okay.
I don't know how you got to it.
Okay, let's see. Your timeline. Okay, so you got to put it in a timeline. So I don't think you may not have made a timeline. So I'm just going to drag this over. Well, I'm going to drag this one over here. Okay? And it'll automatically make a timeline. So that probably solved a lot of your issues.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And if you don't want to just drag something to make a timeline, if you go to File and then New and then Sequence, then that'll make a timeline for you in case you want to do it that way. So I think I can already tell you guys aren't going to have homework this week because we're not going to finish this. But I'm still going to keep going in order because I don't want to skip around because I specifically made this order. So hopefully you guys can learn it more easily. So, or get the information better. So this button right here is your snap tool or your snapping tool, kind of like what we talked about in Final Cut Pro 10. Oh, we already did. Well, I'm going to flip to the next page. Yes.
The manual snap tool.
The what? Yeah, the magnet. Yeah, that's the snapping tool. Same as in Final Cut. Keep that active the whole time. All right, so we did putting footage on the timeline via drag and drop, but there's other ways. So, like with Final Cut, you've got in and out points in your preview window. So let's just say I've got this 7-second clip. You know what? I'm gonna use this clip instead because this clip is 55 seconds. Okay, we don't want all 55 seconds. Okay, so I'm just gonna make an endpoint here. This little icon here is the endpoint. Sorry, I didn't tell you that before. Or like in Final Cut, you can press I for endpoint and O for out. So I'm going to do one by just clicking on this little icon. And you see it kind of like gets gray to let me know that I'll select it from here all the way to the end. And I'll click here. And this time I'll press O to mark my out point. Okay? So once you do that, you still just drag it from there to your timeline. Now, let's talk about this insert overwrite stuff. So I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to use a clip that I haven't used before. All right, so I'm going to pick this clip, okay? And I'm not going to mess around. I'm just going to say I want the whole clip, okay? Now, pay attention to my timeline when I do this. So I'm going to click in the timeline where I want my clip to go. So let's just say I want it in between. I press the up arrow to go specifically to a cut. Also, I think if you have these buttons enabled, it allows you to do that as well. Does it? Yeah, if you don't have these buttons active, you can't press up and down on the arrow keys to go from one cut to the next. So that's another advantage of having it. So a lot of good reasons to have that. So let's say I want to put this clip and I want to slide it in between these clips, okay? Then I want to do an insert. So you can do the shortcut to that is a comma. So if I just press comma, then you see how it made space and it kind of like shifted everything over? Did you see that? Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. So I had already selected, okay, this is the clip that I want to work with. And I made sure that I had this highlighted or activated. And to do an insert, I can either press this button right here, or I can press the comma button on my keyboard. This time I'll press the button. And you'll see it's going to shift this clip over. Actually, I'm just about to get to this in the lesson, but. So it's going to shift this clip over to make room. So let me go ahead and make sure and I'm going to press that button, and you see how it made space for it, so it shifts the rest of your project. That's the insert. Now, for overwrite, what it is it's going to delete. It's just going to replace this whole clip. So when I press that, you'll notice it's not going to shift. So, and it just, I know it may seem subtle, but basically it didn't shift because it basically deleted this clip, and you see. And this is just the little bit that was left over of that original clip. So it basically just deleted that and replaced it, or written over it. So yeah, that's something that you can do. You can also do that in Final Cut. I just neglected to tell you that. All right, so timeline. I was trying to think of, should I talk about expanding the timeline and all that stuff before we have clips, but if you don't have clips, you won't really get it. So let me show you how to expand this timeline. It's a little bit easier in this program. On your keyboard, you have a plus and minus key, yes? Yes. So you can just press minus to make it look smaller. You can press plus to expand your timeline. So you don't have to press any command buttons or anything like that. Also, if you want to adjust it, this little slider bar right here at the bottom, basically what you do is you just click one of these sides. I don't see, does it work on, yeah, it works on both sides. So you just click one of those little circles and you slide it, and as this bar gets bigger, your timeline gets smaller, and as the bar gets smaller, your timeline gets bigger, and that's just the way that works. So, yeah. There's other ways to like make clips taller and whatnot, but I'm a little rusty on that. I think like if you double click it, yeah, if you double click it, you can also make stuff more visible. So, and you don't have to do it on the timeline. You have to do it like in this little box out, just to the left of the timeline if you want to do that. Where was I? Slide bar, making an edit. Okay, so I talked before earlier about Command K. So if I want to make a cut using, I can use the razor blade tool. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because you guys know this. You got your little toolbar. You press the razor blade shows up. And this one is gonna be white instead of what was it, black before? Anyway, and you just click and you get your razor blade tool that way. And and you press the select tool. In Final Cut, it's a little bit, the shortcuts for that is a little bit different. Your razor blade tool is C, as opposed in Final Cut it was B. Okay, so in Adobe it's C. Everybody got that? And in Adobe your select tool is V, but in Final Cut I believe it's A. So just a few little differences. I'm going to Command Z to get rid of that. Now, let's talk about making cuts without having to use those tools. Okay, say I just want to, to me, I think this is quicker. What I do is I hold down the Command button and I press K, and it makes the cut. So you don't have to go around and hunt down your toolbar thing, press one thing, cut something, go back and select another thing. No, you just, press Command K and it makes the cut. Was everybody able to do that? Okay, who was not able to do that? Okay, I'm just gonna take that as everybody's good. Yeah, we're gonna have to, time's up, we're gonna have to stop there. So I hope you guys, realize, hey, I'm learning some stuff in this class. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now, and we'll pick up at effects on next class period.